Chapter 7, Part 3. Let's look at some verbs that are sometimes impersonal. Sometimes they're impersonal, meaning that the subject doesn't have an antecedent. Sometimes they are personal, where it does refer to a specific person doing the action. So we've got four verbs here: paraître, to appear; sembler, to seem; arriver, to happen, sometimes to arrive, but quite often to happen. Suffire is to be enough. So let's look at a context here. Pierre regarde un film. So Peter is watching a film. We could say, il semble préoccupé. He seems, préoccupé is preoccupied or worried. So here, semble, il semble, he seems worried. But we could also say, il semble qu'il mange des bonbons. It seems that he's eating, des bonbons is the word for candy. It seems like he is eating candy. So here, il semble, the il refers to Peter. Il semble que, it seems that, it's an impersonal expression. So here are some other ways that they appear in, these words appear in impersonal expressions. Il paraît que, it appears that; il arrive que, it happens that; and il suffit que, it's enough that. Okay, now sometimes these impersonal expressions are followed by de, or sometimes by que, or quite often you'll see de and que, and they look like they're used almost the same way. When do we use de and when do we use que? We use de when there's a infinitive that follows. Infinitives can, you can have a preposition before a infinitive or a noun. You can't have an infinitive, de is a preposition, and prepositions can precede nouns or they can precede infinitives. They can't precede conjugated verbs. So if you see a verb after de, you know it has to be an infinitive. So, il suffit de répondre oui. It's enough to answer, to respond yes. Okay, here we have il suffit que tu répondes oui, and here we have que followed by a complete clause. A complete clause means that what can stand alone as a sentence. Tu réponds oui. You answer yes. So il suffit que tu répondes oui. We've got que because we've got a complete clause. We've got a conjugated verb after it. So we use the de with the infinitive and the que with the complete clause after it. But they're both, it's enough. It's enough to answer. It's enough that you answer yes, or for you to answer yes. So there's some less common impersonal expressions of existence. Il est is an example. Now that just looks like he is. Why would he is mean anything other than he is? Well, this is French, and you can do some fancy things with French. So we can say something like, il est un procédé pour construire le passé composé. And here, il est means there is a procedure for forming or for constructing the composed past tense, the passé composé. There's a procedure for making the past tense. And so that's an impersonal expression, meaning there is, but it can also mean there are, kind of like il y a and can be there is or there are. So you can say il est des procédés. So here we've got the predicate in the plural. Il est des procédés pour construire les participes passés. There are several procedures for constructing the past participles. So both il est can be translated as there is or there are. Here's some less common expressions of existence. Il reste means there remains, or reste Un reste is a leftover. So, il reste une partie de son argument. So there remains one part of his argument. Now we could translate that one part is left of his argument, or one part remains of his argument. There's one part left. There's one part remaining. This il reste expression is quite common. Now we can also use il reste with quantitative expressions. Il reste 3 euros. 3 euros are left over. There are 3 euros remaining. So that il reste is an impersonal expression of existence saying what's left over. So here's some articles. No, here are some exercises, and write down your translations, and when you are done, you can correct them with the next video.